Have you ever felt like you're carrying battles inside you that no one else even knows exist? On the outside, you're calm, composed, some might even say mysterious or self-assured. But deep down, there's a constant war raging beneath the surface. It's not just a personal struggle. It's a paradoxical tug-of-war between craving independence and fearing isolation, between valuing freedom and longing for connection, between projecting strength and shouldering the weight of quiet loneliness. Sigma males, in particular, are often misunderstood. They don't broadcast their struggles or seek validation. They endure in silence, mastering the art of self-containment. While the world sees a composed man who walks alone by choice, what they don't see is the cost of walking that solitary path. Today, we lift the veil and take a closer look at the 12 dark realities Sigma males live with every single day, the hidden burdens and emotional tolls that come with their identity. The first reality is the double-edged sword of isolation. For Sigma males, solitude is both sanctuary and prison. They choose it, not out of bitterness, but because it offers peace, freedom from judgment, and space to breathe away from society's noise. But solitude isn't always the calm and escape it appears to be. Sometimes it's loud. The silence becomes deafening. The independence, though noble, feels unbearably heavy. At 3 a.m., when the rest of the world is asleep, the Sigma male may lie awake, silently acknowledging that no one is texting check-in, no one is waiting to hear if he got home safe, and no one is asking what's on his mind. He tells himself, I like it this way, and most of the time he really does. But in rare, raw moments, he aches deeply for just one person who understands without explanation. Because while Sigma males are their own safe place, it can get cold living there alone. 2. The second reality is the burden of being misjudged, the quietness, the reserved energy. These traits confuse people. In that confusion, they invent stories to fill the gaps. He's arrogant, they say. He thinks he's better than us. Or worse, he's plotting something. All the while, the Sigma male might be thinking of nothing more than his next step, a work project, or simply observing the world around him. Why does this happen? Most people are wired to seek approval, to find comfort in attention and social validation. When a Sigma male doesn't play that game, people assume he's rejecting them, even attacking their sense of worth. He becomes a mirror, and in that reflection, they see their own insecurities, ones they'd rather ignore. His quiet self-sufficiency reminds them of what they lack. The result? A lonely, bizarre tension, being misunderstood by people you barely even notice, yet somehow still carrying the weight of their silent judgment. 3. The third reality is emotional armor that becomes a prison. Sigma males often don't trust easily. Over the years, they build walls, brick by brick, forged from past betrayals, heartbreaks, and disappointments. They adopt internal rules. Don't show weakness. Don't depend on anyone. Handle it yourself. And initially, this armor is empowering. It protects them from being hurt, manipulated, or used. But time has a way of turning armor into a cage. What was once protection starts blocking the very things they quietly long for: connection, vulnerability, and joy. Intimacy becomes difficult. Friendships remain surface level. Romantic relationships feel like two strangers sharing a bed. Even in family gatherings, they can feel like an outsider looking in. It's not that they don't feel deeply, they do. It's just that their hearts have been hardened and sealed so tightly, they've forgotten where the door is. For success attracts the wrong attention. For the Sigma male, success is never about applause or validation. It's about mastery, growing in silence, achieving with integrity, and carving a path to freedom and self-sufficiency. But when success finally arrives, it doesn't always come with celebration. It changes everything. Suddenly, the Sigma male finds himself surrounded by unfamiliar faces and suspicious intentions. The spotlight brings more than admiration. It draws an opportunist. People start showing up. Fake friends seeking clout. Acquaintances who once ignored you now pretend to care. Lovers who are more interested in your image than your heart. You begin to notice the subtle cues. Smiles that don't quite reach their eyes. Congratulations laced with hidden envy. Invitations from people who never valued you before. At first, you might feel flattered. They finally see me, you think, but that feeling soon gives way to a darker truth. They don't actually see you. They see a ladder, a resource, a stepping stone. And with that realization comes isolation, not connection. Because the dark reality is that success doesn't always earn you respect. Sometimes, it just makes you a bigger target. 5. Then comes impossible choice. Freedom versus connection. This is perhaps the cruelest paradox Sigma males face. At their core, they crave two seemingly opposing things. The freedom to live life on their own terms, unchained and autonomous, and the connection of a deep, honest bond with someone who gets them. But often, the pursuit of one comes at the cost of the other. To build real connection, you have to open up, you have to be vulnerable. But vulnerability means giving someone the power to hurt you, and that's a risk Sigma males are wired to avoid. On the other hand, to preserve complete freedom, you have to remain detached. You have to keep your guard up, your distance intact. This detachment protects you, but it also prevents love from taking root. So you live in a constant internal tug of war. You want a partner, but recoil at the feeling of being needed. You yearn for love, but despise the idea of feeling exposed. You want something real, but you're terrified that in building it, you'll lose yourself. People may accuse you of being afraid of commitment, but it's not fear, it's survival. Because the one thing a Sigma male fears more than being alone is surrendering his soul just to make someone else feel warm. 6. Being misunderstood becomes a default setting. Sigma males move differently. They speak only when necessary. They don't perform for approval, and they rarely explain themselves. This makes them enigmatic, often admired, but just as often misread. You walk into a room, quiet and observant, and instantly feel the shift in the air. The assumptions begin: he's cold, they whisper. He must be hiding something. Or worse, he thinks he's better than everyone else. The truth? You're just existing, watching, processing. But here's the dilemma. You could explain yourself, clear up the misunderstanding. But deep down, you know it won't matter. People don't listen to understand. They listen to confirm their biases. So you stop trying. You speak even less. Not out of bitterness, but acceptance. Because over time, you learn that being misunderstood isn't a glitch to fix. It's part of the territory. And in that silence, you find your own kind of peace. Not in being understood, but in becoming okay with walking alone. 7, that you outgrow people faster than they can keep up. For Sigma males, growth isn't optional. It's embedded in their DNA. It's not about impressing others or proving anything. It's not fueled by competition or external validation. It's driven by something deeper, more internal, a quiet truth that staying the same feels like death. Stagnation is suffocation. So they evolve constantly. They read, reflect, adapt, and rise. But the dark side of growth is that it can become a wedge between you and the people you once held close. You begin to outgrow them. Friends who still hang out at the same bar every weekend, family members who cling to small thinking and old fears, romantic partners who crave comfort more than evolution. At first, you don't want to leave them behind. You try to take them with you. You drop subtle hints, share books that change you, spark deeper conversations, open doors to your expanding world. But most people stay where they are, not because they don't care, but because growth terrifies them. Change threatens the security of familiarity. So you're left with a painful decision. Do you dim your light to keep the connection? Or do you grow so much that you outpace the relationship entirely? It's not a matter of ego. It's not arrogance. It's evolution. And evolution, for the Sigma male, often leaves behind a trail of broken or faded connections. And as empowering as progress is, it's also lonely as hell. 8. Then comes the constant battle against arrogance. One of the defining traits of Sigma males is their self-reliance. They place deep trust in their own judgment, their intuition, their process. It's what sets them apart, and also what can undo them. Because when you trust yourself that deeply, it's dangerously easy to slide into ego. To begin thinking, I'm always right. To start tuning everyone out, because no one really gets me anyway. That's the edge a Sigma male constantly walks. A razor-thin line between confidence and arrogance, independence and isolation. Discipline is the only guide. Trust your instincts, yes, but stay humble. Walk your own path, but remain open. There's no one checking your blind spots. No boss or mentor breathing down your neck. No safety net. It's you versus you. And that's the dark reality. When a Sigma male stumbles, it's rarely because someone else misled him. It's because he stopped questioning himself. He forgot that freedom without self-awareness is just another kind of prison. 9. And then there's trust, the hardest currency of all. Sigma males aren't born closed off or cynical. They become cautious over time, shaped by real-life experiences that taught them tough lessons. They've been betrayed by the ones who swore loyalty. They've been loved until someone better came along. They've heard people claim honesty, only to lie with casual ease. So trust becomes something sacred, built slowly, brick by brick, like a medieval fortress. Not based on promises, but on proof, on action, on consistency. It takes years to earn. A Sigma male watches how someone behaves when it's inconvenient, how they show up in hard times, whether they honor their word when no one is watching. And once you finally earn that trust, it's a rare gift. But if you break it even once, there's no second chance. No dramatic confrontation. No long-winded arguments. Just silence. Just absence. Because when a Sigma male is done, he's done. And in his world, loyalty is everything. 10. Leadership finds you, whether you want it or not. For Sigma males, leadership is never the goal. They don't chase power, seek status, or crave being the boss. They don't want followers. They just want freedom. But put a Sigma male in a room, and somehow people start turning to him. Without even trying, he becomes the one others look to when things fall apart. He never asked for it, but leadership finds him. Why does this happen? It's not about charm or loud authority. It's about presence. When you don't need attention, people instinctively start paying attention. When others freeze in indecision, the Sigma sees a clear path forward. When chaos erupts, he remains calm, anchored, strategic. It's not that he wants control, it's that he naturally carries it. But there's a dark side to this accidental leadership. Once you're seen as the one in charge, you also become the one to blame when things go wrong. You're expected to fix everything, carry everyone, remain unshaken. And some days, the Sigma male longs for invisibility, for the freedom of being just another face in the crowd. Because leadership, when you never ask for it, can feel like a crown made of iron. 11. The lone wolf's burden. Facing battles alone. The lone wolf persona is romanticized. The mysterious figure walking alone, untethered, untouchable. To the outside world, it looks like power. No one can hurt me. No one can betray me. No one can slow me down. And there's some truth in that. Solitude can be a fortress. But inside that fortress, the silence can turn cruel. When the Sigma male falls, there's no one to catch him. When he breaks, there's no shoulder to cry on. When the world goes dark, he either faces alone or doesn't face it at all. This isn't poetic melancholy. It's a brutal, lived truth. Most people will never taste real solitude. They fill their lives with noise, distractions, and surface-level connections. But the Sigma male, he drinks solitude like medicine. Bitter, strong, healing in ways most people never understand. And in that stillness, illusions die. The illusion that others can save you, that belonging guarantees love, that vulnerability is always worth a risk. For the Sigma male, these aren't theories, they're scars. 12. No one applauds your internal victories. The hardest battles are the quiet ones, the ones no one sees, the ones you fight inside your own mind, resisting the temptation to self-destruct, choosing discipline over chaos when no one would blame you for giving in, forgiving someone who never said sorry, walking away from revenge when you could have shattered everything. These victories leave no evidence. There's no applause, no trophies, no social media highlight reel. No one says, "I'm proud of you for not reacting," or "I can't believe the strength that took." These triumphs go unnoticed by the world, but they define the Sigma male. And here lies the dark, humbling truth. You don't do it for applause. You do it because it's who you are. Because in the silent moments, when no one's watching, You still want to be someone you respect. You still want to hold your ground, even if no one ever sees the battle. So when it's all said and done, maybe no one knows what you carried. Maybe no one ever will. But you'll know. And for the Sigma male, that has to be enough. Final thoughts. Forged, not broken. If any part of this resonated, if you recognized even one of these quiet struggles or internal battles, you need to know something important. You're not broken. You're forged. Everything you've endured, everything you've carried alone hasn't weakened you. It has shaped you. Sigma males were never meant to fit the mold. We don't walk the well-trodden paths or chase validation in the usual ways. We walk alone not out of bitterness or fear, but because we've learned something the world often forgets, that the strongest steel is tempered in solitude, not comfort. That true self-mastery comes not from noise and crowds, but from the stillness where only your thoughts exist. And in that solitude, where most people never dare to go, we find the truths that others spend their whole lives avoiding. We confront the shadows, face the silence, and come out the other side forged, sharper, wiser, more resilient. You're not lost. You're not behind. You're becoming something rare. And that journey, that's your power. Do you resonate with the ideas I shared in this video? Share your thoughts in the comments below.